All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Jared at 3C's Recreation. We are excited. Today is Black Friday. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. This is our first 2024 UForce 600 made by CFMoto. This one is already sold, came in. We have kind of a little bit of a waiting list for these. But as usual, I love to do walk-around videos of all the new models every year so you can get an idea of the updates. So I just read through the manual this morning. I do have a lot to do because it is Black Friday. But I want to take the time to make this video, and it is 28 degrees outside here today. So if I get cold and I start to stutter, that's why. So this customer, real quick, he added front bumper. You can see it here. He added the poly windshield, which you can see here. Then he added the rear window. So these are all super important accessories, especially for this time of year because I can see my breath. So when you're going like 20, 30 miles an hour, that windshield makes a huge difference. And he also added their rear bumper accessory. So he did kind of almost what everybody does. So those are pretty important accessories. And then obviously above and beyond that, CFMoto makes doors, storage bins, different types of windows. So there's so many accessories, Nerf bars that you guys can choose from their catalog. So just wanted to get that out of the way, talking about the accessories. So let's talk about what does come with the CFMoto. So you're gonna get the poly roof. Nice fit and finish, nice seal, and that's also true of these accessories. They have the channels. You can see how nicely it fits down in there. So there's no air gap. Here's the channel for the door, if you were to add doors. And so you can see it's easy to click in, click out. So that's for the window. So our roof is standard. Comes with a 3,500 pound winch with the cable. You can see it down here. And then it has power steering, which I really can't show you much on that other than knowing that when you turn the wheel, it feels great. So those are three standard features that when we sold Polaris, you had to pay a lot of extra money for. You either had to go to an LE model or just pay extra for them in general. So let's start with the basics. This is a single cylinder 600 fuel injected machine. So there's no choke to play with. You get in, turn the key, and it's running. Especially on a cold morning like today, that's super important. And we can show you the engine. So in the back, this is our, I'll show you this first, I suppose. Tailgate opens, ta-da, nice and easy. And you can put it right back up. And then I can open the dump box so you guys can actually see this engine I just talked about. So we have a handle on either side, we pull up on it. And CFMoto does such a great job protecting the engine from mud. They added these mud fenders. So a lot of the brands, the mud's going to come up in here and keep going and laying up in the engine compartment, where it's a really nice feature that they added this. It's a really cheap piece of plastic, but it has a huge job that it's doing. It's keeping your engine free from debris, or at least a lot more of it. You're not going to get the clumps of mud leaning up in here. Here's our battery, straight down there in the corner. You can kind of see it. I'm pointing to it. Our air filter is on this side right here. So air filter is really easy to get to. Engine oil fill couldn't be any easier as well. So CFMoto did a great job making engine accessibility really good in this model. These CFMotos do have independent rear suspension, so it is not a straight axle. So we're going to maximize the ground clearance in the back. And my gimbal, it's really hard to tip up. But here is the 2-inch hitch receiver in the back. So you can hook up a normal trailer to it. Maximum towing capacity is 1,500 pounds. And the tongue weight that you can put on the tongue is 150 pounds. And the dump box capacity is 600. It's easy for me to remember that because it's a 600cc, 600 pounds in the dump box. So that's what this machine is rated to put in the cargo box, is 600 pounds. This is a bench seat model, which we love. So it's technically a two-seater. We have two sets of seat belts. And new for 2024 are the seat belts. It's a whole new supplier for the seat belt. I'm just going through all the technical data. That was one of the notes they said. New seatbelt supplier. So seatbelt here, seatbelt there. But if you have a little pup or something you want to sit in the middle, she can sit right there, a little dog with you. So it's nice that it's a bench seat. Really gives you that flexibility. Some brands, or the old CFMotos, had a big console in the middle. So you were either just two bucket seats and it was just two people only. Really uncomfortable if you're trying to set a pup in there. So we can go over the controls next. We'll start over here on the left. This is our handbrake. We pull it down to activate it, push in and back up to release it. This is our 4x4 switch, and I'm going to turn the key on just so we can get a better idea of how this works. So right now we're in two-wheel drive. You can see the back two wheels lit up, and this is my switch I'm going to activate. I'm going to turn it one position, and now it shows all four tires lit up. And if I go one more, we can put it in diff lock mode, which would lock all four tires in, and all four tires are going to pull you straight all the time. So let me do that. It's going to put a little X in there. You can see that little X. And what that just did, all four tires are locked in, but it's going to limit how fast we go. It's going to limit us to 20 miles an hour when we're in diff lock mode. We don't need to go any faster than that in this, because this is not the mode that I want you to trail ride in. This is just to get you out of a bad mud hole. So we'll turn that back to two-wheel drive. And then down here we have our light switches. So we have off, running lights, lights on, and then high beam and low beam. So two light switches. My gimbal won't turn any more down, otherwise I would. So e-brake, four-wheel drive, lights. You can tilt the steering wheel in this model. We got the lever right here. And wherever you stop the lever is where it's going to stop. And I can just put it back down by holding in on it and push down. This is our key switch, which turned our dash power on. And we'll go over the display here in a minute. And this is our gear selector. We've got park, reverse, neutral, high, and low. Park, reverse, and neutral are pretty self-explanatory. But high range and low range are the two gears that are really important to understand. So anytime you're pulling a trailer, or you're going to go slow up a muddy hill, or you're working the machine, you really need to be in low range. It's so important. These machines are so powerful that if you're in high range and you're pulling something, it'll still do it, but it'll hurt the drive belt. So I do not recommend using high range for anything other than trail riding. The rest of the buttons on the dash are pretty straightforward. You'll notice they got rid of the reverse override button. The rest of the buttons are pretty straightforward. They got rid of the override button. So they used to have a switch that when you're in four-wheel diff lock mode, you could override that 20 mile an hour rev limiter. They got rid of that. So it's no longer on the dash here. This is our mode switch. So we're in normal and work mode. So right now, you can kind of see it says work mode there on the dash. I'm going to flick it up. And now it just changed it to normal. And we'll drive this in a minute here, just up and down the driveway. What this does is work mode is going to give you more power sooner. It's going to feel a little jumpier, but it's because it's anticipating a trailer or a heavy load in the back. So they do that so you don't hurt the belt. And then normal mode is a more casual, smoother throttle. So if you're just driving around the lawn, maybe with a grandkid, you can put it right in normal mode, and it's going to accelerate and be much easier to use. And then here we have our USB. There's two of them in there. And then our 12 volt. So the 12 volt's always been standard. Not every brand comes with a USB port. And then in here is our toolkit and our winch controller. It's a 5-foot tether. And this winch controller plugs in right here under the dash. Let me show you this right there. So you have to line the prongs up and slide it right in. But here's all the dash that comes with this, or all the storage. It's really cool what they give you with these things. And then there are cup holders. There's 3 cup holders. There's 2 in the middle, and then 1 on that side. And then there is storage under this passenger seat. So if I pull up on both sides, and it's pretty cold out this morning, so you can see how deep that storage bin is. And that is a funnel. It's like strapped down, funnel with the funnel hose. So they give you a funnel for doing oil changes. I can show you under the hood next. It's really cool how CFMoto, and sometimes you need 2 hands to get that up, but you just have to pull it up because the inner fender catches on the frame bar here. So what's cool with the CFMoto is how accessible everything is on these 600s. It doesn't get any easier. So if you need to clean your radiator out, you can see how easy you're going to get to this with the hose. You can come in here with a hose, clean the whole thing front and back, because it's so important to clean the back of the radiator as it is to clean the front of it. This is our coolant fill, our brake reservoir, our fuse panel. This is our winch contactor that controls the winch. Every couple years, sometimes the contactors will burn out, so it's easy to get to them. And a couple of the other differences that CFMoto did for 2024 are not big changes, but just electrical things. So they made this area easier for like a bus bar to get mounted for accessories. So CFMoto is really thinking about accessories moving forward and the ease of use for the consumer. Just kind of show you inside of here. You can get to the grease fittings easy. You can change the oil in your front and diff really easy. can change the position of your shock if you want to make it stiffer or softer. Easy to do. But washing this is 1,000 times easier than some of the other brands, because we can tip this right up and we can just hose this whole thing right out to make it super easy. The CFMoto does have LED headlights, which really hard to tell this morning. And then it does have reverse lights. So if I take the gear selector, we'll put it in reverse. And we'll come back here. So I know during the day this is like, oh, that doesn't make much difference. It really does at night. If it gets dark so early in the winter that it lights up everything back here. So if we're backing up to a trailer or backing up near the garage or around a car, it gives you so much visibility to make sure you don't hit something. So huge feature in the CFMotos, I think, is the reverse lights. It's little things like that during the ownership of the vehicle, it's going to make things so much easier. So now that we went over the controls, let's take this thing for a little ride. And just getting in it, you can see how big the footwell is here. I have a size 13 shoe, very easy to get in, and I'm also 6'4", so I am pretty tall and I fit just fine. So let me shut the gate here and the side net, and you can see how long my legs are. Hopefully it's zoomed out enough. Oh, all right, the steering wheel tilt down. So like there's my riding position, super easy, tons of headroom, like plenty of headroom. And so we'll go for a little ride real quick. So we haven't started it yet. Let's just turn the key. I got my foot on the brake, fires right up easy. I was in reverse, but I had my foot on the brake, so I'll let it start. And we're just gonna go high range in normal mode, and we're just gonna drive in two-wheel drive. There's really no need to use four-wheel drive today. Our driveway is pretty easy. So tip this back up. Display is easy to read right through the middle of the steering wheel here. I do have my seatbelt on. You know what I'll do is I'll take my seatbelt off here first, because some of these machines are now coming with a sensor. So I'm gonna disconnect my seatbelt. You can see that seatbelt is now blinking at me. Let's see if it blocks the speed here. Yeah, so it's gonna limit us to about 10 miles an hour in high range, and I think it's even lower in low. So if we go low range now, I think it's like 6. Yeah, 6, 5 or 6. So if you do not have your seatbelt plugged in on your new CFMoto, and you get home with it and you call your dealer and wonder why it goes so slow, probably because your seatbelt's not plugged in. So I just plugged it back in. We'll go back to high range here. Oh, every machine that we sell leaves with a full tank of gas. Let's go over that real quick. So, because I didn't do the display yet. So, full tank of fuel. It's got 1 mile on it. Our four-wheel drive switch, what gear we're in. This is the temp bar, and this is new for 2024 as well. It now has 5 bars instead of 4, because a lot of people were getting to 3, which is normal operation last year, and they were thinking it was about to overheat. So CFMoto added another bar to kind of bring normal operation back down in the middle, so you weren't so worried when you were driving it. And we can adjust the brightness of the display. It's really hard to tell in the video, but like right about there, it just got dark again. And then we can toggle through. So it's got 1 mile on it. Trip meter is 0.3. Maybe I'll try a different hand here. 0.3 hours on it. The volts is 12.4. LED 5 is the brightness of the display. Fuel 3, and then 12 miles 1. So right back to the beginning. Let's do a quick test drive on this thing, and I'm gonna get back to work. So takeoff is very smooth on this model. I'm in high range, a light pedal, like press on the pedal here. No jerkiness at all in the 600s. One thing I did not talk about is how nice these mirrors are. These are stock mirrors, by the way, 100% included, driver and passenger. You can see like my eye line, like how perfect that is. I can see the back corner of the box. And same with this side. They're fully adjustable, in, out, and then I don't want to rotate it because it's really cold out, but we can rotate it out that way, in, so we can tuck the mirrors completely in so we don't lose any, like if we're trying to fit through trees. And then this also adjusts. So I love these stock mirrors, 100% included. So that was high range. We can do, let's just do like a tight circle real quick. We'll start here. and we'll lock it all the way over. Full lock right now. And I think it's important to do this to show how tight the CFMoto does turn, because a lot of the times we're in the woods. Look, we're in Western New York. Look at all the trees over there. So let's just back up and show you how tight that was. Look how tight of a turning circle that was. So if you're trying to navigate tight trails up here in the woods, that makes such a difference. And now we'll go in low range. Like, it's got the L lit up there. It's gonna, like, at 20 is about as fast as you'd want to go. I would say 90% of your riding should probably be in low range. That was perfect. Like, you can get up to 20 in low. It's not going to hurt the vehicle. And let's just do work mode real quick to give you a feel for the difference of the jumpiness. Like right there, you could feel or hear that the RPMs came up a lot quicker, and it's going to level out, because now that you got the load moving, you don't need a ton of extra power. You just got to keep it rolling. So this is work mode. I love that the temp gauge has not even moved yet, because it is 28 degrees outside. So we'll just get this back down to the shop real quick. One thing I should mention is how easy the power steering is. Like, literally, you just use a finger and it goes either way. Power steering is amazing. It's, especially if you put a plow in the front of it, the power steering really helps you plow. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. This was the new 2024 CFMoto UForce 600. Please consider subscribing to our channel. We're dealership based. Everything that we sell, we do product reviews, tech tips. We love to ride. We're passionate about it. We're a family shop. We're located right off I-86 in Western New York. We couldn't be any easier to get to. So if you're looking for a new machine, please consider giving us a call. We don't add any silly dealer fees other than just freight. So if you guys are looking for a new CFMoto, please consider giving us a call. Have a great day.